Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the MAJLIS of Hazrat MAULANA QAMAR Sahab Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Wednesday at about 12 noon. Wednesday, the 31st of January 2024, 19th of Rajab 1445. This Majlis took place at Ozone Heritage, Pushtikar Society, Momin Nagar, Jogeshwari West, Mumbai. Hazrat Wala starts off by quoting the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ad-deenu an-nasiha. You people can see, Hazrat Wala says, that I am not too well. However, after looking at your thirst and enthusiasm and what I have heard from others, then I made himmat and plucked up the courage. These advices and nasihat which I am going to give you, I admonish myself with that first, and Allah Ta'ala give us all the tawfiq. Hazrat Haji Imdadullah was in Makkah Mukarramah. At that time, Hazrat Tanvi was also there. Hazrat Haji Imdadullah said, Ashraf Ali, translate this kitab. It will be of great benefit to the people. Maulvi Sher Muhammad brought this kitab to me. What can I tell you about it? I've been reading it for years, but it seems that it's just not coming to an end. And the way I calculate it, that this kitab, Hazrat Tanvi has extracted his usul that he based his whole maslak on from this particular kitab. Now we read from the text in the kitab. Hazrat Tanvi is writing, and he says, one day, Huzur, if you just read the original words, the Urdu text, you'll actually be amazed at what type of i'tiqad, love and faith, how he mentions his Shaykh. My Shaykh, who's completely illuminated with Noor, one who is praised, may his shadow be upon us for a long time. His sacred gatherings and gatherings of acquaintance, actually, they are like springs and fountains of fuyuz and barakat, spiritual waves, and mines of nur, barakat and secrets. So from amongst the other things that were mentioned in the Majlis, this was also mentioned that they were speaking about, Hazrat was saying, Hazrat Tanvi speaking about his Shaykh now, Hazrat Haji Imdadullah, and with what type of shafqat and a pain in the heart, he says that this thought came to me that those that are drowning in the oceans of negligence, what type of thing can we put into place that we can bring them, save them, grant them salvation and bring them to the shores of Hidayat, because they are busy drowning. He then went on to say, the kitab, At-Tanweeru fi Isqat al-Tadbir, this kitab, which is actually the tasnif and the compilation of Hujjatul Awliya, Ibn Ata Iskandari, the author of Hikam as well. And he was one filled with hikmat also, Quddisa Sirruhu. This personality, his every article is written in such a way that it is substantiated with proofs from Nas and Aql as well, and Kashf, due to which those articles and these kitabs are accepted and people look forward to it. Now, listen to this part here. If this kitab is translated into Urdu, then the benefit of it will become more general and the barakat of it would then be completed and perfected, it would reach further. Now Hazrat Wala specifically stresses on this part, rather he read it twice. Now this kitab, speaking about this kitab, what does Hazrat Tanvi say about it? He says in the praise of this kitab that usse talaba ko ilm or ulama ko amal. By means of this kitab, the students will gain knowledge. The ulama will then start practicing. Or abido ko ma'rifat. Those who are carrying out the ibadat will be blessed with the recognition. Or arifo ko hal. Those who recognize Allah will be blessed with high spiritual states. Or ahle hal ko maqam. And the people of hal will be blessed with maqam, high maqamat, stages and levels. Or ahle maqam ko kamal. And those people then would be blessed with kamal and perfection. I even feel I'm not fulfilling the right, because it is spelt out in such a way. How do I even translate it? Or ahle kamal ko daulat e bezawal nasib hogi. And the people who are right there on the top, they would receive such a great treasure which never comes to an end, an eternal treasure. Thereafter, okay, let's see here. So now Hazrat Tanvi is speaking about his Shaykh, praising him in such a way, whereas his Shaykh was not even an istilahi alim, but he had so much of qadr, in his heart regarding his Shaykh and that ilm that he had. So much so, Hazrat Maulana Qasim Sahib, Hujjatul Islam, says that I actually went to Hazrat Haji Imdadullah because of his ilm. This confidence and what I became inclined to him was more because of his ilm, the knowledge that Allah Ta'ala had given him. Rather, Allah Ta'ala opened the doors of knowledge for him. You know, it comes in the hadith that the person who practices on that which he knows, Allah Ta'ala then blesses him with knowledge that he knows not of. So Hazrat Haji Imdadullah was of that caliber, that whatever he knew, he made amal on it, due to which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then blessed him with such a type of knowledge that Maulana Qasim Sahib, Maulana Gangohi, all these great luminaries then came to drink from his fountain. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahib, also his full efforts was so that he could turn the attention, our attention, to this as well, over and above what the students came for knowledge. Hazrat Wala then speaks about that time there in Fatehpur when Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahib said that, listen, I'm going to test you people, give you an imtihan. So we started learning. Nevertheless, after that, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahib monitored us. He would come from the house to the courtyard, to the khanqa, to the masjid. He would pass and see what we're doing. And after much time, we actually thought in our minds that Hazrat told us and he gave us this hukam. And when he sees how much of mehnat we're making and how we are putting our whole minds and our hearts to this, he would become extremely happy. But what was actually the impression of Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahib? And look at what he was turning the attention to. He said that I seen you people all this time engaged like this. Could you not even take out a little time to make the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So that's what it is all about. Ilm and zikr. When you have this two put together, culmination of both of them, then you would have that type of knowledge of Hazrat Haji Imdadullah. You will be able to relate to that. You will be able to understand that type of knowledge. This kitab is an absolutely amazing kitab. Now, I say to the students that learn how to translate. But if you don't read, then how will you learn how to translate? Now, Hazrat Haji Imdadullah did not just ask anybody, but he asked Hazrat Tanvi because he understood that he had the capacity. In fact, here it's also written in front, you would come across that the greatest adib of that caliber of Darul Uloom Deoband then remarked after that, it is Ashraf Ali that could have carried out a tarjuma of this caliber. So, our students should be also such that they can take and then translate in the different languages so that this can continue. So ilm can't be this year of just something which is customary of qeel and qal. There has to also be ruh, haqiqat, kayfiyat, hal that comes with it. You know, somebody heard that Hazrat Tanvi now is going to Makkah Mukarramah, and then they asked, but how come didn't he just study for all these long years? And then it was said that up till now he was wapar raha tha, ab bunne ke liye. Now he is going so that that same knowledge can become entrenched in him. The haqiqat and the reality, the deepness of that knowledge can now start overflowing and be understood. The rank of ilm is absolutely great. So ulama should also study these kitabs. This ulum that our mashayikh had achieved. They had opened the doors of knowledge for us. So this kitab, you'll find ilmi, hali and maqami kitab. You'll find ilmi, great academic discussions, and then hali of the great spiritual states, and then maqami, such high darajat. So the person whose earthen pot is connected to the ocean, do you think that that would ever run dry? It would never ever run dry. It will continue supplying, and the water in there would never ever come to an end. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us with ilm nafi'. So the kitab is such that students will gain knowledge by means of it. Ulama will then start practicing. The worshippers will gain recognition, and those who have recognition will gain high spiritual states. Those who have those states will actually go higher and get maqamat, the high levels. And the people of these high levels will then reach perfection. And those of perfection will have such a treasure and a wealth which is eternal, which will not come to an end. Now Hazrat Tanvi, referring to himself, this insignificant person who actually went to go and take benefit from the ma'ani and the barakat. He went from India and he went to Makkah Mukarramah, and when he presented himself in the mahfil and in the majlis of Hazrat Tanvi, then Hazrat Tanvi then put this forward, the translation of this kitab. Although I understood myself not to be deserving of such a great task, however, imtithalan lil amr, so that I could carry out this order and this hukam of the Shaykh. So keeping that, I became ready with my heart and my life, and every day a little I would write, and I would come and read it out in the presence of Hazrat Haji Imdadullah until such a time that in a short period of time, with the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this kitab, the translation of At-Tanweer fi Isqat At-Tadbir, the translation, that's the original, the Arabic, the translation is Elixir fi Ithbat At-Taqdir, came to fruition and completion. That name was kept. Now, for such a task, and myself being incapable, Hazrat Tanvi is saying, despite that, this year was achieved because of the barakat of my Shaykh, Hazrat Haji Imdadullah. So Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab continuously turned our attention to this as well. Now, that ilm which does not take us to that which is haqq, in essence is actually not even ilm. Now this kitab deserves that we listen to it and we read it. Nevertheless, whatever I said here now, it is because of the barakat of you people. My health is not allowing that, but I said whatever I had to say. Allah Ta'ala blessed us with sihat zahiri and batini, external, apparent health, and internal as well, the zahir and the batin. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to advise when he would come to Bombay and to these cities he used to say much about making hifazat of the heart and the eyes when you come to these city centers. Not only that, we spoke so much about these Buzrugan-e-Deen. Allah Ta'ala make it such, and He bless us with their companionship tomorrow in the Akhirat. رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ وَتُبْ عَلَيْنَا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ التَّوَّابُ الرَّحِيمُ بِحُرْمَةِ سَيِّدِ النَّبِيِّ الْكَرِيمِ صلى الله عليه وسلم.